My name is Leary. I am a white genderqueer person with dark brown hair and blue eyes, and I am wearing a sweater vest that is brown in color with a blurred background behind me. I'm going to be reading from an early chapter of my young adult novel, Son of a Bookman. Son of a Bookman is about Nat Gallagher, a transgender high school senior who needs to beat his academic rival Diego for a prestigious fellowship that will let him afford college. When Nat learns that his late mom's novel, published posthumously, is being challenged at his school in Amherst, Massachusetts, he decides to band together with his classmates, including Diego, to fight against censorship, even if it means that Nat must face not only his rival, but his grief in not having come out to his mom before she died. Nat's room on the third floor of Plath Hall, like every other building at Dickinson Academy, had a slight Gothic feel. The dramatic arched windows and intricately carved doors always made Nat feel like he was living in a castle. His dad picked up on the second ring. "Hey, little squash," he greeted Nat by his bizarre nickname for his son. "Did you call me to talk about how the Red Sox are doing?" Nat smiled and rolled his eyes lovingly as he removed the corkboard that was hanging over his bed, revealing his neon sign that read, "Bisexual Disaster," which his dad had given him, unaware that neon signs were among the list of contraband that students were not allowed to have in their dorm rooms. The corkboard, filled with pictures of his friends and parents, and some Harvard good luck charms like a pennant and a campus map, served as the perfect disguise to any unsuspecting visitor. "I did not call you to talk about sports, but you can tell me anyway." A smile bloomed on Nat's face as his dad rambled. He liked sports much less than his dad did, but he loved that phone calls felt like you were sitting right next to the person. It made the roughly 2-hour drive between them feel small. Aware he could only listen to sports talk for so long, Nat paced nervously around the small room, gazing out his window. It was comforting to see people going about their daily routines. "Is there anything bad in Mom's book? Her last one, I mean." What had his mom written in Fishing for Ghosts that would have Professor Kell worried it might be censored at Dickinson Academy? Nat's mom was a proud pansexual author, and a few of her middle grade and young adult novels had queer characters. But Dickinson Academy was also a campus that had renovated to add some gender neutral bathrooms to the halls, and they were quick to change Nat's name on everything in the system, even though he hadn't had a legal name change yet. There were Black Lives Matter signs on campus and school-funded trips to Hampshire Pride every spring. This was not the kind of place where books got banned. His dad paused, and Nat felt the 2 hours of highway stretched between them. "There's nothing bad in it," his dad said with certainty. "There are some parts that are a little sad and hard to read, but it's a happy story. I really think you'll like it." Ian was not a huge reader, aside from his love of War of the Worlds, which made the fact that he read all of Mary's books even sweeter. Nat wondered if his dad was out driving. He hated to think of him at home alone, eating a hungry man frozen meal for dinner. He almost begged his dad to let him switch to public school after his mom died, but they'd all worked too hard for him to get here, and his mom would genuinely haunt his ass if he gave up now. "It sounds great. I'll tell you what I think when I read it," Nat said, and he wanted to mean it. Then he changed the subject, not wanting to share with his dad what Professor Kell had said about the book potentially being challenged on campus. "I gotta go. I'm picking up a customer." Nat and his dad said a quick farewell, and Nat was left in the dangerous company of his own thoughts. Nat plopped onto his twin bed and picked up his copy of his mom's book for probably the 50th time and thumbed through it. The cover of Fishing for Ghosts, which was about a teenager whose parents were traveling ghost hunters, was a swirling sea of blue and featured three shadowy figures sitting in a small speedboat with fishing gear, along with a pearlescent and semi-translucent ghost. This was his mom's last book. There was nothing in her writing studio, no unfinished idea fragments in her notebooks. Once he finished it, it would be like a movie where the main character finds out that their dead mom had planned ahead to prepare the perfect gift for a milestone birthday. He would unwrap the package, and that would be it. No more advice, no more singing with his mom in the living room, no more ordering Chinese food at the last minute because she had spent hours writing and had forgotten to start cooking. Nat flipped to the front of the book to look at the dedication. When the book was in edits with his mom's publisher, Nat's dad called him. The dedication used Nat's dead name, since his mom died before he had come out as trans, and his dad asked if he wanted to keep the sentiment, but change the name. Nat's dad had placed the decision in his son's hands, reassuring him that his mom would support the change if it was what he wanted. The dedication of Fishing for Ghosts by Mary Gallagher now read, to Nat, I loved you before I even knew you. Thank you so much. And